Well, hello, my darlings. I have oohed and awed and second guessed myself with this, and I thought, nope, right, I'm going to do it. Just get on, introduce it, and crack on with it. So I have signed up to be part of the 100 Days Junk Journal Ideas with Rachel Bella on top of my other 100-day challenge I'm doing with the Great Ugly. And Rach has released a new kit called Echoes de la Nature. And very, very pretty botanicals. Color scheme very similar to, sorry, I'm a bit full of cold at the moment. Very shabby chic. There are some sort of darker background pages in there, but I want to take it a bit darker. Not darker as in gothic darker, but darker as in like inking and the grunginess of it. So I wanted to have a play, and I wasn't sure what to do, but I've decided I'm going to try to do a tall skinny, which is something I've never really properly done before. But also a tall skinny that's like the do-si-do, or do-a-do, I think you say it in French. So it's a do-si-do one then. So you've got, I've gone through my stuff. I've gotten these A4 envelopes, and I have an absolute case full of these that I found treasure hunting. Glued the flap down. I'm not going to fuss with the cover until the signatures are well on their way. So I've done some of the pages from her kits and pulled pages from my stash. Some sugar paper in there, or construction paper, bits from hers, botanical books I've got. This is an old, like, Monet paper, some tea dyes, again, countryside books, and things from the kit. So that's, where am I now? Yes, that one. And then this one I've done bits from the kit, and again a mix of old book pages and but I've only printed Rachel's kit on normal printer paper, not cheap printer paper. And if you're in the UK at the moment, the 80 GSM Navigator paper is on Club Card and Tesco's. So I've printed that on that, and hopefully then to do a do-si-do type tall skinny, which I am finding a bit intimidating at the moment because I've never made one before. So again, it's the Echoes de la Nature. Pardon me. Here's some examples of some of the pages I printed. I haven't printed everything. The odd page here and there, and of course ones that I printed to go in here that were double-sided. But yes, I love this sort of images of jars. This is a piece of the collage page that I had to go with the modeling paste on. I did that in the Great Ugly video. So that's going away. I'm hoping to do some more of that type of work in this one. But one of the challenges I'm going to set myself for this one is to try to avoid the thicker cardstocks and just keep it thinner paper, regular paper, build it up, add elements of the texture paste and fabric scraps. I'm not sure about the cover yet. I had recent treasure hunting, which I've also tea dyed some, so I'll do a video for that to show that. So I think I'm just gonna take it easy and just do a spread at a time and see how I get on. Pardon me. I have cut out some of Rachel's little tucks and pockets that I know will fit on a tall skinny. And by playing, I gotta say, by playing with the printable versions of these, which look like that, it's sort of helping me wrap my head around the idea of, I think they're called gussets, of how the gussets actually work. So most of hers, not all, but most of hers are 1/2 inch. Some of these I found to be a little bit skinnier. But you just, once you've cut them out, take them on the flat edge, and I don't need much pressure on my scoreboard because I've just printed this out on printer paper. So I want to sort of go back to my roots of paper crafting in a way and just work with regular weight paper for this one and see how I get on. And because regular weight paper, pianola paper, music paper, things that are going to be much thinner, and experiment more with more of my mixed media materials and my less used materials and tools. So that's me for now. I need to go and treasure hunt in my craft space and see what else I can find. So, back and tick. Right, and let's have a look at what I've got here. So, I'll choose the pages out there in a moment. The bits that I cut out, the pockets I cut out, I've gone back and inked in a little bit of a different way. So, if you look on that one, there are several colors gone down onto the edges. I made this little thing to be off camera. It's just to live by my keyboard as a list of things that I need to remember. So that's my little go-to notepad over there for myself. So what I've done is I've stuck with, I'll show you on that one, I've stuck with, that is a combination of acorn and portobello combined as I've gone around the edges. And that's upside down. And then I've used that shady lawn green on the inside. So those are the 3 colors I'm going to try combining for this tall skinny. I haven't decided on a name for this yet. It's early days yet. So again, a combination of that acorn and a bit of the green, and then whack it back after with that portobello over the edges. So I'm quite pleased with that sort of effect. It looks like it's been in somebody's garden for a spell, doesn't it? So these can go out of the way a minute, because these will go down last. I've pulled out this stuff and this stuff, which I nearly threw away. Everything's falling over now. But Steph has sort of inspired me to give it another chance. So in here I pulled out a bit of lace as well, and some stencils. So on the first piece of construction paper, I've had to go with combining those colors, and on that piece of sugar paper, and that's sort of the effect I've got with some of my different stencils. So it's a bit, that was my first go, and then I went back with another stencil on that side and added a bit of stamping, and no, I'm quite pleased with that. So that's one spread. Let's get the other piece of construction paper out of this, and I pop that piece backwards so I know where it goes. So my idea is I will go back and let's do that first. Where's my ghost pages? There's my ghost pages. And these are ancient. These are from like my ones I've used on like pieces of furniture in the past. Get it the wonky side up. By wonky, the side that's got the most paint layers built up on it, because I used it in stenciling furniture. So hit it with that acorn, and then go with Portobello. I won't do the whole thing, but just to show you sort of thinking I've got behind it. And because the book isn't bound yet, it is something I can remove if I'm not happy as I go on, or as the sort of creative process goes on. I go for the middle a bit, and now we've got that sort of blended effect going on. The stencil over here. Get another one down the bottom, and this time I'm going to hit it with a bit of Portobello. The Portobello is a lovely color, but I can't begin to describe it to you, because on white paper it's almost like a greeny brown. It's definitely got a green tinge to it, depending on what color paper you use it on and how heavily you apply it. I do love it. And there we go. This is slightly different shading. Sorry if I've sounded stiffy on camera. I'm absolutely full of cold. But I'm plowing on. Alright. And let's add something. Should we put another leaf? Stick another leaf in there. And some green. And of course this is green construction paper, isn't it? So the green is just going to be, it's not going to pop a great deal. That's okay. And I'll clean my stencil in a minute. So I do like working with this kids paper because it dries quite quickly. And where'd that stamp go? There it is. Now for the stamp, on that other one, I tried a bit of, Stamp It Up Brown. I was not impressed. So let's go with a bit of VersaFine Black. And give it a bit of a random impression. And a bit more on the bottom. And that's Nocturne, I think. There we go. And then for the edges, like I've done on that one, I'll show you what I mean. My brush is away. I'm on that beginning phase of the tornado now. Everything's coming out, and there's a mess. No. Yeah. Yes, so a little bit of green on there. So once I've done some stenciling and stamping on the other sides, I'm going around and hitting random places with a color. So there's some green. I don't think I did green on that one. That was just acorn and Portobello. So again, that acorn, it is very red when it goes on, but it does sort of mute down, and the Portobello helps it to mute down a bit. Some random corners. I hope I'm staying on camera. Sometimes a bit messy. And then go back around the whole thing, or nearly the whole thing, with the Portobello. And I'm not getting just the edge. I'm sort of giving it a bit of sideways action as well, but supporting it with my fingers on the back. And you're getting that well-aged effect, as if this has been in somebody's garden for some time and been well handled, isn't it? I've got plenty of things up in my workshop that's got grass stains on it and things like that, and smudges from furniture polish and all sorts. So that's just sort of the idea for creating a background. So I will go off camera and do the rest of the sides, not see you watching me stencil and ink. So another thing I did is with these pieces, the best I can figure is I found it in a charity shop. I didn't pay more than a few pence for it. There's loads of it on here. And the best I can figure is it's for making Roman blinds. So it's very strong, and it's got these loops sewn into it. And this other stuff is for making your own curtains, because it's got the sort of loops in there that your curtain hooks go into to sort of draw your curtains up like that. So again, this stuff is really strong. So here, where's it going? There it is. I've taken a piece of the curtain stuff, because I could hook, maybe it cotton buds a little bit. I could hook things on there or slide things in there. So I've hit that with the Shady Lane, and I'm going to try a piece of this now, but I've left a couple of the little loops on there, and I'm wondering if I can hang things on it. If I can't hang things on it, I can just chop it off. So let's try Portobello on that one. And it's dried okay. It's not coming off on the paper. So it does take ink. So there I've got can't tell with all the stains on my fingers, honestly. The last couple of days I've been so messy in here, struggling to get the stains off my fingers. But never mind. Having a bit of fun. So I'll do 2 of those in Portobello. I'll do 3. And I might hit these with a little bit of heat. And I'll show you what I'm planning to do with them. So that's that one. And I'm going to hit this one again I'll hit that one again with a bit of green. To show you what I'm planning is, before my pockets get stuck on, I want to sew these in as belly bands on a couple of pages, or a couple of sides, sorry. Well, a side is a page, but you know what I mean. And then sew a few of these in. I may even do sort of one above and a pocket below, or one of those above. So that's got a loop. I could hang a charm off the end of that. But I've also then got this lace, which was like quite bridal white. I mean, like white. And it's soaked. I've soaked it in tea. But then cut some, come on camera a bit more, sew in some lace pockets of that. I've pulled that one out that's been tea dyed. And this one out that's been tea dyed. That could be a side one, but sew it in on the sewing machine. And I've also brought out this one that I might add or might not. So that's the plan. So before I come back on again, I'm going to cut my laces to size, ink the last bit of that, and get these and any lace sewn on, and then I'll jump back on to figure out where the pockets are going to go on these 2 spreads. So back and tick. Right, and I've gotten myself very, very inky, but the things have gone through the sewing machine now. Let's get art out. Stick the last few of these grungy little pockets on, and I'll show you the sewing that I've done. I'm still puzzling over a name for this one. Any suggestions, please, by all means, leave me a comment. And as I said, I'm new. I'm a very new channel. I'm quite a baby channel and a newbie at the filming. I've been playing with paper my whole life. So yeah, any comments are welcome. Please like, subscribe, hit a bell notifications, leave me a comment. The comments I've had so far since starting have been absolutely lush, honestly, and a boom for my creativity as well. It's got me thinking, if not thinking, sometimes overthinking, but I've just got to think, right, just do it. Follow the creative muse, where it goes, and perhaps sometimes I need to think about the speed of which my creative muse is going. Sometimes you just go hell for leather, and sometimes you just gotta slow down a bit and play. Because at the end of the day, you know, it is creative play. So get this one down. Do I want that one on the top, or do I want to stick it at the bottom? Nah, I'll stick it at the top. There's plenty of room to play on even just these 2 pages, much less the whole tall skinny, but I'll show you what I mean now. We'll put these pages back in to give it some context. So yeah, I haven't printed any more of Rachel's kits. That's on the list to do, and continue treasure hunting around the room to see what thinner paper stock I've got that suits and can be used. So on that one, I've added the 3 bits of that Roman blind, I don't even know what to call it. It's a synthetic ribbon. And I'm just going to stick some blanks in there at the moment to show you what I mean. I've got enough blanks here. And by blanks, it's just random bits from around the room just to highlight where the pocket is. So once all those blanks, let's try it again, Faith. Once the journal is stuffed with blanks, I can go back and start embellishing actual tags and inserts and minis to go into them. I don't have anything to stick in those at the moment, I don't think. Again, I want to avoid cardstock and just try to build up thinner pieces of paper that I have about. So those are just blanks to go in. That was a piece of the lace that I've sewn in. So I just did a straight stitch and then a funky one at the bottom, straight up. You could still see the stitching through on this side from sewing these on. So it's very textural in, isn't it? So you've got your lace there. I've got plenty of room at the bottom there, on the bottom of that lace pocket to do something else. Fill those 2 pockets. That one, I put that lace down and a bit of that, which I've sort of inadvertently created a double belly band. So I've got a space behind, and because I've only sewn on the sides, there's a space there. Those 2 pockets need something. Do I have any blanks? And that one, stick a blank in it. And then something needs to go into those two. Will these fit? Oh, that sticks out. And these are just blanks that I've got in a tray where I've tried to blitz through my scrap trolley ages ago. So, tall, skinny. And that's a sort of inking scheme that I'm leaning into. So if you can envision some of these papers with more of that mixed acorn, shady lane, portobello type colors. And on the back, that one was there. Perhaps get my stamps out, do a bit more stamping as well, which I haven't done in a while. And then try to incorporate some of the texture paste. These were leftovers from the last Great Ugly, where I was trying to use stuff up. Some of this, I don't know if you can actually tell on camera, some of that paste is quite built up thicker, some is thinner. So these are just pieces I want to try to incorporate somehow and get all of those lovely, because there's so many subtle colors in Rachel's kit. Ugh. Try it again, Faith. Sorry, I am absolutely full cold. Trying not to sneeze at the moment as well. But there's the greens, there's pops of blue, there's pops of like really, really dark, rich pinks in there. So yeah, just play. So that's all for me for now. And I will be back then and work on a couple of other spreads and see how we get on. And try to think of a name for this darling. So, thank you ever so much, everyone, and hope to see you back soon. Bye for now. Right, hello, my darlings. I've had a little bit of a ponder today, so I'm going to tack this on the end of the video when I go to edit it now. But I come across a name called Eglantine. So, there it is there. Eglantine. Eglantine. And it's an old world, sort of medieval Renaissance feminine name, but sort of with the symbolism of nature's like delicate strength, something that's sort of wild and fragrant but thorned at the same time, sort of beauty all tangled up with nature. But being fierce and fragrant at the same time. And I think the word has got some tie to the Latin name for sweetbriar roses that grow in hedgerows and things like that. So I quite like the name Eglantine. It's unusual. So a medieval, sort of old world Renaissance name for this little do-si-do using the echoes de la nature. So, no, please let me know what you think in the comments below. If you like the name or if you don't, please say. Like I said, I'm going to edit the video now and perhaps pop it up, but I can always change the name if I change my mind. But thank you ever so much for listening, and I hope to see you all back again very soon. Bye for now.